didn't hear you in all this rain. Go ahead in, please. Dirty night.
You have a vacancy.
Oh, we have 12 vacancies. 12 cabins, 12 vacancies. They moved away the highway.
Oh, I thought I got off the main road.
I knew you must have. Nobody ever stops here anymore unless they've done that. But there's no sense dwelling on our losses. We just keep on lighting the lights and following the formalities. Your home address? Or just the time will do.
Los Angeles.
Cabin 1. It's closer in case you want anything. Right next to the office.
I sleep more than anything else, except maybe food.
Well, there's a big diner about 10 miles up the road, just outside of Fairvale.
Am I that close to Fairvale?
15 miles. I get your bags. Stuffy in here. Well, the mattress is soft, and there's hangers in the closet, and stationery with Bates Motel printed on it in case you want to make your friends back home feel envious. And the, over there.
The bathroom.
Yeah. Well, if you want anything, just tap on the wall. I'll be in the office.
Thank you, Mr. Bates.
Norman Bates. You're not really going to go out again and drive up to the diner, are you?
No.
Well, then would you do me a favor? Would you have dinner with me? I was just about to myself. You know, nothing special, just sandwiches and milk, but I'd like it very much if you'd come up to the house. I don't set a fancy table, but the kitchen's awful homey.
I'd like to.
All right, you get yourself settled and take off your wet shoes, and I'll be back as soon as it's ready.
Okay.
With my trusty umbrella.
Here we have a quiet little motel, tucked away off the main highway, and as you see, perfectly harmless looking, when in fact, it has now become known as the scene of the crime. This motel also has, as an adjunct, an old house, which is, if I may say so, a little more sinister looking, less innocent than the motel itself. And in this house, the most dire, horrible events took place. I think we can go inside because the place is up for sale, although I don't know who's going to buy it now. In that window on the second floor, the single one in front, that's where the woman was first seen. Let's go inside. You see, even in daylight, this place still looks a bit sinister. Now, it was at the top of these stairs that the second murder took place. She came out of the door there and met the victim at the top. Of course, in a flash, there was the knife, and in no time, the victim tumbled and fell with a horrible crack. I think the back broke immediately and hit the floor. It's difficult to describe the way the twisting of the but I won't dwell upon it. Come upstairs. Of course, the victim, or should I say victims, hadn't any conception as to the type of people they would be confronted with in this house, especially the woman. She was the weirdest and the most... Well, let's go into her bedroom. Here's the woman's room, still beautifully preserved. And the imprint of her figure on the bed where she used to lay. This young man, you had to feel sorry for him. After all, being dominated by an almost maniacal woman was enough to drive anyone to the extreme of, well, let's go in. Well, I suppose you'd call this his hideaway. His hobby, as you see, was taxidermy. Crow here, an owl there. Now, an important scene took place in this room. There was a private supper here. And, oh, by the way, this picture has great significance.
you some trouble?
No, my mother, what is the phrase? She isn't quite herself today.
You shouldn't have got it. I really don't have that much of an appetite.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wish you could apologize for other people.
Don't worry about it. But as long as you fixed a supper, we may as well eat it.
It might be nicer and warmer in the office.
Stopped raining.
Eating in an office is just too officious. I have the parlor back here.
All right.
Sit down.
Thank you. You're very kind.
It's all for you. I'm not hungry. Go ahead. You eat like a bird.
You know, of course.
No, not really. Anyway, I hear the expression "eats like a bird." It's really a falsity. Because birds really eat a tremendous lot. But I don't really know anything about birds. My hobby is stuffing things. You know, taxidermy. And I guess I'd just rather stuff birds because I hate the look of beasts when they're stuffed. You know, foxes and chimps. Some people even stuff dogs and cats, but I can't do that. I think only birds look well stuffed because they're kind of passive to begin with.
It's a strange hobby. Curious.
Uncommon, too.
Oh, I imagine so.
And it's not as expensive as you think. It's cheap, really. You know, needles, thread, sawdust. The chemicals are the only thing that cost anything.
A man should have a hobby.
Well, it's more than a hobby. A hobby's supposed to pass the time, not fill it.
Is your time so empty?
No. Well, I run the office and tend the cabins and grounds and do little errands for my mother. The ones she allows I might be capable of doing.
Would you go out with friends?
Well, a boy's best friend is his mother. You know what I think? I think that we're all in our private traps, clamped in them, and none of us can ever get out. We scratch and claw, but only at the air, only at each other. And for all of it, we never budge an inch.
Sometimes we deliberately step into those traps.
I was born in mine.
we are. 3 Samuels. That's an interesting address.
Is that her?
Yeah. So, 3. All right. Samuels. Your boyfriend's name is Sam. Was she in disguise, by any chance? You want to check the picture again?
Look, I wasn't lying to you, Mr.
Oh, I know that. I know you do that.
You know, it's tough keeping track of the time around.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was raining, and her hair was all wet. I tell you, it's not really a very good picture of her either.
No, I guess not. Now, tell me all about her.
Well, she arrived rather late one night, and she went straight to sleep and left early the next morning.
How early?
Oh, very early.
Which morning was that?
The next morning. We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
Yes. Sometimes just one time can be enough. Thank you.
wasn't out when you were there. He just wasn't answering the door in the dead of night like some people do. This fellow lives like a hermit. You must remember that bad business out there about 10 years ago.
Please.
Laurie, the sheriff wants you to connect him with the Bates Motel.
Norman, Sheriff Chambers. I've been just fine, thanks. Listen, we got worries here. Have you had a fella stop by there tonight? Well, this one wouldn't be a customer anyway. He's a private detective. Name of...
Arbogast.
Arbogast. And after he left? No, that's okay, Norman. This detective was there. Norman told him about the girl. The detective thanked him, and he went away.
And he didn't come back. Didn't see the mother.
Your detective told you he couldn't come right back because he was going to question Norman Bates' mother, right?
Yes.
Norman Bates' mother has been dead and buried in Green Lawn Cemetery for the past 10 years. The only case of murder and suicide on Fairvale ledgers. Mrs. Bates poisoned this guy she was involved with when she found out he was married. Then took helping to the same stuff herself. Strychnine. Ugly way to die.
Norman found them dead together. In bed.
You mean that old woman I saw sitting in the window out there wasn't Bates' mother?
Now wait a minute, Sam. Are you sure you saw an old woman?
Yes, in the house behind the motel. I called and pounded, but she just ignored me.
You want to tell me you saw Norman Bates' mother?
But it had to be. Because Arbogast said so too. And the young man wouldn't let him see her because she was too ill.
Well, if the woman up there is Mrs. Bates, who's that woman buried out in Green Lawn Cemetery?
Yes. I didn't intend to sleep so long. I almost had an accident last night from sleepiness, so I decided to pull over.
You slept here all night?
Yes. As I said, I couldn't keep my eyes open.
There are plenty of motels in this area. You should have... I mean, just to be safe.
I didn't intend to sleep all night. I just pulled over. Have I broken any laws?
No, ma'am.
And I'm free to go.
Is anything wrong?
Of course not. Am I acting as if there's something wrong?
Frankly, yes.
Please, I'd like to go.
Well, is there?
Is there what? I've told you there's nothing wrong, except that I'm in a hurry and you're taking up my time.
Please, Mother.
No, I will not hide in the fruit cellar. Think I'm fruity, huh? Right here. This is my room and no one will drag me out of it. Least of all my big bold son.
Now come now. He came after the girl, and now someone will come after him. Please, it's just for a few days. Just for a few days so they won't find you.
Just for a few days. In that dark, dank fruit cellar. No! You hit me there once, boy. You won't do it again. Not ever again. Now get out! Get out, boy.
I'll carry you, Mother.
Norman. What do you think you're doing? Don't you touch me. Don't! Norman! Put me down. Put me down.
I got the whole story, but not from Norman.
I got it from his mother. Norman Bates no longer exists. He only half existed to begin with. And now, the other half has taken over. Probably for all time.
Did he kill my sister?
Yes. And no.
Well, now, look, if you're trying to lay some psychiatric groundwork for some sort of plea, this fellow would like to cop this.
The psychiatrist doesn't lay the groundwork. He merely tries to explain it.
But my sister is...
Yes, I'm sorry. The private investigator, too. If you drag that swamp somewhere in the vicinity of the motel, you'll... Have you any unsolved missing persons cases on your books?
Yes? 2
Young girls.
Did he confess to...
Like I said, the mother. Now, to understand it the way I understood it, hearing it from the mother, that is, from the mother half of Norman's mind, you have to go back 10 years. To the time when Norman murdered his mother and her lover. Now, he was already dangerously disturbed. Had been ever since his father died. His mother was a clinging, demanding woman. And for years, the two of them lived as if there was no one else in the world. Then, she met a man. And it seemed to Norman that she threw him over for this man. And that pushed him over the line and he killed them both. Matricide is probably the most unbearable crime of all. most unbearable to the son who committed it. So he had to erase the crime, at least in his own mind. He stole her corpse. A weighted coffin was buried. He hid the body in the fruit cellar. Even treated it to keep it as well as it would keep. And that still wasn't enough. She was there, but she was a corpse. So he began to think and speak for her. Give her half his life, so to speak. At times, he could be both personalities, carry on conversation. At other times, the mother half took over completely. He was never all Norman, but he was often only mother. And because he was so pathologically jealous of her, he assumed that she was as jealous of him. Therefore, if he felt a strong attraction to any other woman, the mother side of him would go wild. When he met your sister, he was touched by her, aroused by her. He wanted her. That set off the jealous mother, and mother killed the girl. After the murder, Norman returned as if from a deep sleep. And like a dutiful son, covered up all traces of the crime he was convinced his mother had committed.
Why was he dressed like that? Transvestite.
Not exactly. A man who dresses in women's clothing in order to achieve a sexual change or satisfaction is a transvestite. But in Norman's case, he was simply doing everything possible to keep alive the illusion of his mother being alive. And when reality came too close, danger or desire threatened that illusion. He dressed up, even to achieve wiggy born. He'd walk about the house, sit in her chair, speak in her voice. He tried to be his mother. And, now he is. Now that's what I meant when I said I got the story from him. You see, when the mind houses two personalities, there's always a conflict, a battle. In Norman's case, the battle is over, and the dominant personality is won.
And the $40,000? Who got that?
The swamp. These were crimes of passion, not profit.
Attorney, contradictory psychiatric testimony?
Yes, Your Honor.
On the basis of the staff report, Norman Bates is judged, restored to sanity, and is ordered released forthwith.
What about his victims? Don't they have any say? Can you restore them?
Madam, please sit down. This matter is being represented by the district attorney.
Your Honor, my name is Mrs. Lila Loomis. I have a petition here signed by 743 people against Norman Bates' release, including the relatives of the 7 people he murdered. Doesn't that give me the right to speak out?
Does the district attorney advise Mrs. Loomis about her rights in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor. I explained that her petition had no effect on these proceedings.
Explain to her this hearing is a matter of law, not a
Don't you
motion.
realize we're going to release a
Mrs.
homicidal
Loomis, I'm
maniac?
going to ask you to sit down, or I'll have the bailiff remove you from this court. If you have any further questions, please discuss them with the district attorney after this hearing.
Why, Father? It's all too obvious. Our courts protect the criminals, not their victims.
Congratulations. Turning now to calendar number 71143. Order is People versus Taylor. The record reflects the defendant present with counsel.
I'll call you later. Are you satisfied, Doctor? Turning a murderer loose on an innocent public?
Mrs. Loomis, Norman was not convicted of murder. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity. And since he is no longer
That's just legal hocus pocus. And when he murders again, you will be directly responsible.
Morris. Answering his own.
What do you need is one of my special Irish coffees. Is there any brandy in the mug? Norman, your mother's dead. You killed her. You told me so yourself. Norman, it couldn't be your mother.
Phoning Norman, claiming to be his mother, and not pretend to be his real mother.
Mother's dead.
And whose fault is it? You recognize me? It's me, your mother.
Yes,
bathroom. Well, they've cleaned all this up now. Big difference. You should have seen the blood. The whole place was, well, it's too horrible to describe. Dreadful. And I'll tell you, there's a very important clue was found here. Down there. Well, the murderer, you see, crept in here very slowly. Of course, the shower was on. There was no sound. And,